All right, let's get started. So I'm an old coach, and I've got another coach with me today. I'll introduce in a minute. So the show is called Start a Biz, and the show is about genuinely helping you do better in life. If you're thinking about starting a business, if you own a business, if you want to grow a business, come to practice every Thursday at 1 p.m. and on the weekend, Saturday morning. And Justin, I don't know what we're doing on Sunday, but you'll find us. KHTS is one of the great radio stations in the country. I'm honored to be with them, and they're my flagship station. Flagship, did I say that right, Justin? Flagship station. So every week, we're going to treat this like a master's class. We're going to get into subjects. Today we're going to be talking about computers because I picked this subject as my first launch of the show because without computers, without understanding computers, we can't run our business lives anymore, and we can't run them properly. So in a few minutes, I'm going to introduce my very special partner here, Jeremy Steffen. And as a disclaimer to my audience, and I'll try to be as authentic as I possibly can, Jeremy's a friend. I'm also a client. We chose, when I came to Santa Clarita Valley, I didn't know anybody. I still don't know anybody. And we needed to find a company, Justin, that knew something about computers. And I wanted somebody that had a personality, and more importantly, I wanted somebody to answer the phone. I was tired of, not getting a call back 5 hours. Anyway, so Adage IT is the company that I picked, and the CEO, the guy that owns Adage IT, is sitting right next to me, and you'll meet him in a minute. So the show Start a Biz is going to cover, as the weeks go ahead, marketing and sales and employment and HR issues and politically correct stuff and political stuff and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to introduce to you, my dear audience, the highest quality professionals that exist in this country, not just in the Santa Clarita Valley, but all over the country. I've done a business show for over 10 years, and 1 year I did a show called The Richest Man in Town, where we interviewed over 55 100 millionaires and 5 billionaires. Yes, Justin, it was quite a year that I had. The gentleman that wrote the book, The Richest Man in Town, was my partner, Randall Jones. So I'll be sharing some of those things that took place on the show, but I'll be sharing some of the things that those men and women talked about. How did they get to their mountaintop? We'll be talking about that as the weeks go along. Also, I want to give a shout out to somebody right here in Santa Clarita that does my logos, my graphics. If you go to Coach Tunick, how about go to Start a Biz Radio Network, Start a Biz Radio Network, you'll see my great logo. Josh Bernstein does my work there, does a great job. Young man, price is right, and he's very, very good at graphics and logos. And if you're starting a business, It's not a bad idea to have a great look at logo. Look at Adage's logo. We'll have to talk about how did Jeremy come about with that logo. So also my theme is going to be, don't run your business without your coach. Don't run your business without the coach. So if you have questions, I'm going to open up the phone lines here. I know I'm going to give you the numbers now: 298-5487, 298-5487, 298-5487. After, give Jeremy and I about 15 minutes, maybe around 1:20 or so, I'll open up the phone lines. And if you have questions about computers, because I can't answer them, I have an expert here, we'll answer your questions. So again, every week I'm going to treat the show like a college business class, like a master's business class, because I'm going to really have experts on there. Also coming up next week, his name is Aaron Young. He owns a company called Laughlin USA. Now, Laughlin, Justin, if you ever open up a business, you're going to need documents, right? Would you do a corporation, an LLC? Who knows what you're going to do, but you're going to need documents. So Laughlin is one of the biggest companies in the United States, over 100,000 clients, 44 years in business. We're going to have the CEO on, and he's truly one of the most successful guys I've ever met in my life. So he'll be on next week, Laughlin USA, because Jeremy's gone. I don't know, he's doing something. He's a coach, so he's coaching somebody next week, but he'll be back. All right, so also Jim Piccirillo, I want to give a shout out. He's kind of my mentor in a way. Jim Piccirillo owns Valencia Partners in town here, and Jim, he's somebody that started literally with nothing, Justin. You're just starting your life, right? You're my producer. I love having you be my producer. He started with nothing in his life. Today, he's built a family. I never talk about money, but he can pay his bills. Can I say it that way? And he's got a couple of bucks in the bank. He started with nothing, and he just climbed his own mountain with the help of mentors and a little luck along the way. And that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this show, is because I want to try to mentor you. You need mentors in your life, Justin. You're not going to go anywhere without mentors. You know why? Because you don't know the laws of success. Where would you learn the laws of success? Also, the show is being filmed, so you can go on YouTube and see our film. We got a couple of cameras in here and a cameraman in here. All right, so with no further ado, Mr. Jeremy Steffen, my dear friend, and you are truly an expert. I mean, you know my wife. We wouldn't have picked Adage IT if you guys weren't not only real. I had to physically go over to your office. You got a beautiful office set up over there on Turney Road. And I love your people. And I'm probably your biggest nuisance, annoying customer because I know nothing about computers. So welcome to the show we call Start a Biz. How are you, Coach?
Doing great.
Thanks. And you're also a coach like I am. So you're coaching the Saugus cross country team?
No, my son goes there. I coach a youth cross country club.
Youth, okay.
Yeah.
So before we start talking about business, why does Saugus year after year after year have this dynasty? I mean, they're like one or two in the States, ranked in the top 10 in the United States of America. What are they drinking? What are these kids drinking?
A lot of Kool-Aid.
Really?
Coach Rene Paragas over there is just a fantastic motivator, leader, and he's got a science down to how he gets these kids to perform.
But you're the feeder guy. You're coaching the youth guys, so pat yourself on the back because you got to be doing something right.
Well, my method in coaching is I want to see people achieve more than what they thought they could. So if I take that approach with every kid, young, old, talented per se, not talented, then we're going to get a lot of success.
So let's talk about you for a second. You started, I know your story, but I want you to share some of whatever you're comfortable with. You started Adage IT from scratch, right? Literally from scratch. And you built this into I never talk about money, but it's a multi-million-dollar, very, very successful company. You got big clients. You got clients from startup to big corporations. How did you do it? I mean, how do you go from nothing? We have thousands of people listening to our voice that, according to Gallup, 74% of everybody that's employed would like to own their own business like you and I do. So how did you do it?
There's a lot to that. I started with with a book of business. I bought there were probably 5 clients that were good friends and close relationships of mine. So I bought those clients. And then I had equity in my house at the time. My wife and I had planned to build a house, and decided no, it's time to make a change. So I took the money and the equity, and it was a 3-year process before I even saw a
risk. I mean, putting
paycheck.
Your home on the line and your family on the line. Why did you think you had the guts to do that? What did you know that other people don't know about taking a risk like that?
I think it's if you're not willing to lose everything, then you can't be an entrepreneur. So I think that's probably my value in what I had was not my financial success or financial. I knew I could do something bigger and better than what I was doing at the time. So I dove into it, and a lot of hard work, a lot of prayer, a lot of life happened, and a lot of long weeks. And you same philosophy in business as with coaching. Every relationship matters to me. So that's when I treat every relationship with the same respect. And I have a motto. I'm a handshake type guy. I don't need contracts to keep clients with me. I shake your hand, tell you I'm going to do something, and I do it.
It's amazing when I meet people like you or Aaron Young, who's going to be on next week. It seems like all you guys are cut out of the same cloth. You're willing to take a risk. You're willing to bet on everything. Wait till you hear his story. I know you're going to be out of town next week, but wait till you hear his story. Your story is about perseverance. Your story is about not giving up. Your story is about not quitting. Where do you learn that? I mean, were you an athlete growing up?
I was an athlete. I mean, I was did all the baseball, and played a lot of volleyball till middle school. And then I started running in middle school. I wasn't quite cut out for team sports. So my dad.
Why? Because you're a loner?
No, because
people?
Because I'm too competitive, and there's always the. I had a lot of experience with the coach's kid getting the MVP when I was better than him.
Talking to Jeremy Steffen, the CEO of Adage IT, right here in the Santa Clarita Valley, and KHTS AM 1220 on the show we call Start a Biz. So let's talk about a couple things. Every week I'm going to have one or two subjects. So today the subject is timing. And the other subject, if we have enough time, is leverage. So let's talk about timing. You can have a great idea. And I remember when I met you, I thought the timing of what you're doing is incredible. Timing is complicated because if you don't have patience, did you have patience building your business, you think?
At times I did. At times I hired ahead and shouldn't have. Learned a lot of lessons there, but timing is key.
So timing's complicated. How you can have a great idea, and if it comes out at the wrong time and the wrong place, it's not going to work. I don't care what the idea is. The idea has to have some demand attached to that timing issue. So everybody has a computer. Everybody has a computer in their hand. Everybody has a computer at home. So your business, which is solving people's computer problems, and like I said when I opened up the show, I'm probably your most annoying client because I call Lewis like every other day. Lewis, what do I do now? Where do I turn? How do I do this? This is not working. It's too slow. It's too fast. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm hoping over the course of the next year or so, I'm going to learn a lot from you about computers. But when you look at timing, and you look at how difficult it is to judge, because who do you go to? I mean, if who did you go to? Did you have a mentor?
I've had a couple mentors, yeah, for sure. My CPA has been a mentor, and he started me off on the right foot with by saying, from the start, I said with my business, I was not going to skimp on the things that really mattered. So. CPA, having somebody that knows how to do books.
Okay, well, time out. What really matters when you started your business? CPA, get it, that's accounting.
CPA, bookkeeper, insurances.
Okay.
Those are probably the biggest keys. Everything else.
How about legal? How about an attorney?
Yeah, we did. We went through all those things with legal, and absolutely.
Now, this is where Laughlin USA, go to Laughlin, cheap plug for my pal here, but they have all the documents. So instead of paying an attorney $350, you can get the same LLC or corporation or partnership document on Laughlin USA. All right, back to when you opened up your business, you took a great risk, literally putting your home up. You're literally willing to risk everything. Now, timing of opening your business, did you think about timing? I mean, did you put any thought into timing?
No thought at all.
Perfect. And I'm glad you said that because most people, they don't. Most people just react. They don't call a timeout on their lives. They don't stop and evaluate. You know why? Because most people don't understand how to do the research or discovery. They just want to plow into it, and their businesses are run on hope and prayer and wishing. Now, somehow, because you're probably smarter than the average dog and because you're competitive. Are you competitive?
Very.
Very. So it seems to me that if you're listening to my voice and Jeremy's voice of Adage IT on KHTS AM 1220, if you're not competitive, do you think you can make it in business?
I don't think so. No, if you don't have a drive, if you don't have a desire to squash the competition in a sense. If you don't have the desire to push and persevere, if you don't, it's going to be an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle as it is, but with my experience of running, specifically the perseverance you gain from running alone, I mean, how many 90-hour weeks can you work in a row? Well, when you need to, you can only do that if you have the ability.
Or maybe if you're not really competitive, be smart enough to find somebody that, let's say, is competitive and then create a team. Now, you have a team.
I've got a team.
Right. So I want to talk about that. We're talking to Jeremy Steffen at Adage IT. If you have any issues with your computer, I'm just telling you, I'm with them. My company's with them. They're right here in Santa Clarita. And their phone number, well, nobody takes their phone number. Just remember Adage IT. So back to starting your business and the risk that you're willing to put in. I have to respect that. So when you have all the skin in the game, you're getting up early. You put probably long hours in.
Many.
7 days a week.
At times.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so today, as the business has matured now, 8-9 years down the road, what's different about running a business? So starting a business and running a business are uniquely two different things, correct?
Yeah.
All right. What's the hardest part about running a business?
The hardest part is transitioning with staff, for sure.
Personnel.
Yeah.
Especially in this PC, and I'm going to be nice today. I'm not going to get into crazy stuff, but I'm sure as the weeks go along, the PC, politically correct world that we live in is got to be very frustrating to you. I mean, you have to say certain things in a certain way, otherwise you're going to be accused of I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I hear the PC stuff. I tend to think I'm just going to respect you, and if I say something that's out of line, I guess I'll and if you call me on it, I'll apologize to you, So I'm not thinking I've never in my business thought and been afraid of the whole PC thing in that sense, because I try to respect everybody and who you are and what you're doing.
The show's called Start a Biz, and we're talking to Jeremy Steffen on KHTS AM 1220. I'm glad you're listening. I'm glad you tuned in. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I think we're going to open up the phone lines. If you have questions about computers, anything, I can't answer them, but I have a true expert here that can. I'd like to hear your calls. I'd like to hear your questions. Let me give out the number. It's 298-5487, and if you're outside Santa Clarita Valley, it's a 661 area code 661-298-5487. We'll be back. Come on in, call in, talk to the coach. We'll be right back.